I'm out in Dallas, so I didn't get a chance to put all the fancy graphics with it. So it's going to be text, but we will spruce it up, but I'm still recording it now. Guys, the biggest thing now that you've done your list is you got to get organized. So I'm going to say this up front. You want to treat this like a business, but you want to work it like a job. I'm saying it again, you're a business owner. You want to treat it like a business, but you want to work it like a job. What do I mean? On your job, you have scheduled time. And so you're going to find as we move forward to prioritize things. So we want to get organized. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is how much time can you devote to your business? And this is where you got to be honest with yourself. Guess what? One of the things is you got to sit and be realistic. A lot of times I know you're going for it. You're going to hit international. But here's the thing. It's not the quantity. It's the quality. It's not the quantity. It's the quality. So let's say, for instance, you have 10 hours and you say 10 hours. We're going to make sure that you really assess time. So guess what? God first. You're going to see this later on. Your family second. Your career, then the business. Now, the time that you have to work the business. You have to make sure you're doing income-producing activities. A lot of times people feel I'm to and fro. Now, again, like we told you earlier, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Sacrifices meaning a lot of the extracurricular activity, things you used to do, like in terms of watching TV and things like that, you're going to have to give up that time. You're going to have to maybe get up a little bit early. You may have to go a little bit later. That's a sacrifice. However, we're not asking you to neglect church. We're not asking you to neglect your family. We're not asking you. What we're saying is, guess what? And I'm taking the time to make sure you understand this so that, because I need you to teach this to the people that you bring in. As long as, see, we're not telling you to, now stop going to church. No. If you're involved in church, you still need to be involved in church or whatever the activity is. Your family, you need to sit down with your family and they need to understand what you're doing. This is something you're building with your family. Well, what if my husband's not interested? What if my wife's? I didn't say they had to do it. But you need to sit down so they can understand, because now when you need to go to a meeting or a presentation or an appointment, what you don't need is kickback. What you don't need is, well, what you doing? What you don't need is, well, that's what you do. No, your biggest recruit, I'm going to tell you up front, is your spouse. If you don't have one, it's okay. But you're still going to need the support. Because if you have children, guess what? Sometimes you're going to need to go do things. And if it's not appropriate, you're going to need somebody who can take care or help you with the children. You need a support system. So, guys, everybody's not going to join your business, but the people in your circle need to know about your business. They need, just like you started any type of other business or restaurant or whatever, they will support you. Now, you got to plan your work and work your plan. See, guys, we're going to be very intentional. You're going to plan your work. You're going to be organized, but then you're going to work your plan. And what you got to do is make sure that you spend your time doing income-producing activities. So a lot of times we spend times we're on the phone talking to people, we're motivated, but they're already in the business. The work is talking to somebody who can bring new business, talking to somebody who, I'm not telling you not to talk to your business partners, but we spend a lot of time doing things that's not producing income. And that's what we're going to switch. The IFC is going to make you be accountable to results. And so you're going to find this: plan, review, and do. Plan, review, and do. Now, having said that, let's move forward. The most important thing is going to be time management. The difference, we all got 24 hours in a day, but some get more out of their time than others. So without time management, you let yourself over to coincidence. See, without you being able to control your time, I don't say manage your time, control your time, you're happenstance. See, guys, you want to steer your life, and eventually you want to have control of your life. See, if you don't control your time, somebody else is. So I'm telling you guys, time management, getting organized in time management is going to be essential. Now, I haven't said that. Let's move forward. I said this earlier. Keep your priorities straight. What's the priorities? Write this down. I believe this with everything in me. David Manning believes this. Donald believes this. Guys, God first. Family second. Your career and job third. Your business. I'm going to take a little time just to explain this. But, guys, what we're saying is if your vertical relationship's not in order, your horizontal relationship's going to be off. So I'm not in any way trying to convert anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody follow my belief. What I am saying is you need to have that spiritual connection. And I'm telling you, in order for everything else to have balance, if that's off, everything else is going to be off. Second is your family. What I'm saying, guys, is simply this. Aries, the thing is you sit down with your family. I don't care if it's parents. You need to let them know that this is important to you. This is something that you want to do. When you got married, guys, y'all said for better or worse. Guess what? So guess what? Something that you're doing, you need their support. You can't do this by yourself, and I'm telling you up front. So you need to sit down with your family. Next is your career. Guys, your job, a lot of people think, if I didn't have this job. I love what Mr. Radler says. Your job is not killing you. Your job is feeding you. So listen to me real quick. We're a firm believer that, yes, we want to replace your plan A. with your plan B. Yes, we want to make more money from vacation with you, and you have options. But until you do, I need you to work diligently on your job. I need you to be excellent at what you do. Don't be at work, doing vacation, because when you get fired, you can't blame nobody but yourself. They're paying you to do a job. So if you're on that job doing something else, when they terminate you, you weren't being faithful to that job. I understand that's not your end result. I know it's just a resting place. But what I'm saying is, guys, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you slack on your job, but yet you're trying to talk to people, oh, you need to look at this business, they're going to watch how you do things. And guess what? Those same people you think you're recruiting, they're the same ones going to turn on you and tell on you. So I'm just telling you, do things in integrity. I'm not telling you while you're at work, be at work. Wherever you are, be there. But when it's time to do the business, guys, let's do the business. When you come to the meeting, guess what? See, you got to be in control of your schedule. I'm going to introduce something called non-negotiable. Non-negotiable means when you look at your calendar, you put on your calendar, it's non-negotiable. It can't be altered or changed. So let me use Atlanta as an example. When I first got started, the one thing I understood was the leaders didn't miss meetings. So I wanted to be a leader, so I didn't miss any meetings. I wouldn't let anything be scheduled on Tuesday. If somebody called and said, well, hey, let's do this, I can't. I got to work. That's how I treated my business. And I'm telling you in the IFC, well, ain't no weekly meeting in our area. It's okay. Well, what day are you going to consistently do travel parties at your home? What day are you going to consistently do it? Now, having said that, this is going to be a document that you're going to fall in love with that we kind of created for you. Now, if you have a calendar, if you have a system, you don't have to replace what you're doing. This is just to help you. So what this is a 90-day planner. And what I did was, since everybody started over from December 1st to end is February 28th, that's 90 days, it allows you to stay focused. So you have 90 days that's there at a glance. Now, what you do is you set goal dates. So what you'll see is it's going to have executive, regional. See, we want everybody, no matter where you are, to start over again. So when you put your first person in, you need 3 to get to. So you're like requalifying. I don't care where you are. It's like at the end of the day, everybody will do what's required to become international. So even if you're national, it's okay. What if you just hit the reset button? So when you're going to hit executive again, that means 3 people. When you're going to hit regional again, that means 6 people. So you set the goal date, but then the date that you actually complete it is the date that you, right? So you're able to track it. Now, having said that, you're able to you'll be able to download this. The next thing is this. It has a month at a glance. So you'll take December and you'll fill the dates in. And what happens is you'll set a personal recruit. How many people you're going to recruit for the month? And how many for your team do you plan on coming in? And guess what? That's your goal. And then you're going to do a monthly autopsy. You're going to look at the month, and we're working backwards. You're going to actually write out what's going on in your business. And guess what? We're going to review that. That's where the coaching is going to come in. We're going to be able to look at what you did. Now, we're going to break down the week. Now, this is what's really interesting, because if you take care of the week, what's going to equal the month. So you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what happens is, inch by inch, guys, is such. If you take care of the days, the week's going to take care of themselves. You take care of the weeks, the month's going to take care of themselves. That's why we're going to hold you accountable. But time is your most precious commodity. And guys, you're going to not only do to-do lists, you're going to put down what you accomplish. Now, this is what I want you to, now listen to me. I don't want you to get locked into trying to get busy with paperwork. I would suggest that you fill this out at the end of the day. You start out the morning with goals, and at the end of the day, you fill it in based on what you did. And that's going to come a little bit further. And then you're going to break down the daily. It's no different from a daily schedule if you have a calendar, but what it does say is for the day you write down your goals. For the day you write down your confessions, your affirmations. You put your schedule for the business, who you're supposed to see that day. You take notes. You reflect. It's going to allow you to focus. So what we understand is day by day, you're going to be able to really focus on what it is that you're doing. See, Gregory, now when you go and you look and you hold yourself accountable, I'm not telling you to be so busy doing paperwork. That's not what I'm saying. This is just used to guide. But if you already have a calendar or a planner and it has the stuff in it, great. What we want you to do is record your activities on a daily basis. So I got it on the paper. Don't get bogged down with paperwork. This is only designed to help you stay focused. Guys, the biggest thing we want to do is measure results. And integrity is the key. What do I mean? If you set a goal to do something but you didn't accomplish it, put down D&D, did not do, did not get it done. See, I need you to, number one, hold yourself accountable. Now, we're going to talk about calling people. I'm just putting this in so you understand before we get to you talking to people. This is what you're going to be doing next week. You're going to be measuring yourself. See, it's okay I got all these names, but we're about to get ready to put this together. And now you're going to see it's going to be you contacting people, knowing what to say to people. But you're going to be measuring. What did you do? So having said that, let's move forward. Now, this is the one when you look at the week, you'll ask yourself, well, how many new prospects? So on Monday, It has like 5 different categories. So it says your goal. So you may say today I want to meet 2 prospects. It's going to say, what did you do? And what was your total? Your goal, the G is the goal, the T is the total. What was your goal? And so I was starting at the beginning of the day because you set a goal. How many prospects, new prospects? Now watch this. How many people did you show the plan to? Again, the plan could be get on a webinar. The plan could be a conference call. The plan could be, there are different things that you can use to show the plan. You're going to have a lot of things going on at the same time. But at the end of the day, you want to measure. Now, how many 3-way phone calls did you do? With your senior business partner or side leadership, how many 3-way phone calls did you do? What was the goal? Well, I want to do 3 today. How many did you actually do? How many business partners did you enroll? See, because at the end of the day, we can measure. If you're saying, well, I talked to 20 people, but you didn't close any, it's an issue somewhere. If you're saying, well, man, I showed 10 people the business, but none of them signed up, there's something somewhere. What you're saying is somewhere. And that's what we need to start tracking. So having said that, we know how many partners enrolled, how many people did I reactivate? Because some of you are in the business, you have teammates that fell off, and I'm not telling you, but at the end of the day, you get paid for what you retain. So what this allows you to do is, what's your team goal for the week? What's your personal goal? But what's your team goal? Why? Because at the same time you become international, you have people you're going to be talking to your teammates, and you're going to ask what their goals are. Not only are you going to be doing 3 ways with your leadership, you're going to be the ones doing 3 ways for people. So that's why you're going to be setting personal goals, but you're going to be setting team goals. And at the end of the day, when you look at your day, now let me put this in balance. Let's say Monday, you're not scheduled to work Monday. That's the day you got church or choir or something like that. That's non-negotiable. So guess what? You're not going to put yourself in bondage when you look at that. You're going to cross out that day out. Not that you may not meet people, but that's not the day you're scheduled to work. Now, this should be helping you guys. So Heidi, what happens is this is going to allow you, and then it says weekly autopsy. When you do an autopsy, when somebody passes, they do an autopsy. They want to find out what was the cause of death. Well, you're going to be looking at your business. That's why you got to kind of write down there. This is what you're going to be kind of turning in on a weekly basis. This is when we measure what you did. See, you got 7 days. But guess what? The minimum is you got to have 4 appointments. 4 appointments, you can do 4 appointments in one day. See, guys, I'm not trying to, you could do 4 appointments, but what we want to measure is how many people you're closing. That's what we told you up front. So having said that, let's move forward. Guys, put everything on one calendar. Again, we say get organized. And what we mean by that is, if God first, your family second, your business third, what you do is you first put down, what obligations. You go to your calendar and you put that non-negotiable on your calendar. Go ahead and fill that out. We got this conference going on. Black it out. Put it in there. Because once you put it on your calendar, that's a commitment. That's where you're supposed to be at. So if I call you and say, hey, we got this event going on, you look at your calendar, you look and see if you can do it. Then your family, you talk to your family. If your daughter has an important event at school or something, you can't miss everything. For the sake I'm building a business, no. Yes, there's going to be some sacrifice. You may not be able to make every game, every competition, but there's some things you got to be at. See, guys, it makes no sense you're building a business, but you're not there to spend the time with the people you're building it for. So having said that, that's the next priority. Next is you want to work. I mean, some of you don't have jobs where all you do is go to work and you know when you get off. But what I'm saying is some of you have obligations where your job has you out of town for 2 to 3 days. Put that on your calendar. So guess what? You don't have to have, it's non-negotiable. And then you want to begin to schedule your appointments. You want to schedule your personal appointments. You want to go through your team. That's how you're going to stay accountable. And that's how you're going to stay focused. And so, guys, I'm just giving you the background. These are the things that's going to help you win. So, Ms. Wandra, what happens? Let's move forward. Now, in order for you to really go to that place, guys, we introduce them. Again, something that you can be able to download. It's called the 30-Day Mental Fast. I'm asking each of us to go to another place. And so guess what? There's 7 points on here, and you'll be able to download it. Fast simply means to discipline. In order to really get to the level you want, discipline comes from the word disciple. It means to grow. So I'm asking all of us in order to get to that next level to get on this 30-day fast. And so the first point is renew your mind. And it asks you, okay, I want you to plug into the Inspiration Morning Vitamin. It says if you can't personally get on because of work, listen to the playback. But guys, I want everybody to get a journal because over these next 30 days, guys, I want you, and you may already be doing this. I may not be asking you to do something new, but I need you to guess what? Daily. It's a daily renewing of the mind. Guess what? Self-development. Guys, what we ask you is to read 10 pages of something positive a day. Or read an article or every day, put a new thought, right? And guess what? Go maybe listen to 30 minutes or watch. The point of it is this, self-development. How are you getting better every day? And take those notes. Now, remove negativity from your site. And again, you'll see this What we're saying is, guess what? Cut off the TV. I mean, the constant negative news. We're not telling you not to watch, but we're saying determine what's going in what you're seeing. We're saying determine what you listen to. Cut off the radio in terms of, unless it's something that's helping you grow. And you'll see that when you get this program, reduce the exposure to negative people. Guys, so sometimes you're gonna have to come off, and you're gonna have to tell your family for 30 days it's a fast. Some people you got to stay away from. You got to stay away from cynical people. You got to, now, what if that's my spouse? Well, that's the difference. You can't cut them off for 30 days. But there's some things, Tyler, what has to happen is you got to cut your exposure to negative people, and you got to be around the right people. Guess what? Pay attention to your health and nutrition. All of us are going to become better. Now, some of you are in great shape, but all of us are going to, guess what, drink more water and exercise at least 3 times a week. Guess what? Now, this is the point. Because you're doing this work, we're going to daily plan, review, and do. And that's just simply, guess what? We're setting goals for the day. You're not setting them in the middle of the day. No, you're going, before the day starts, you're going to have a goal. And guess what? We want you to spend some time reflecting. That's a meditation and prayer at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day. When you really look at it, you're going to say, this ain't hard. You're going to become better. So, guys, we told you up front when we first started, you got to become worthy of the income. So guess what? We're going to all go on this 30-day mental fast. And that's something that's in there. There's a creed that I want you to daily say to yourself. You know, you can get with people and read it, but guess what? It's the Optimist Creed. We didn't create this. It's the same one on The Secret, which says, I promise myself to be so strong that nothing can disturb my peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to everyone I meet, to make my life, you know, see, you've heard it, to look on the sunny side of everything. See, it's the Optimist Creed. But guess what? You'll be able to look at that, and guess what? You'll get to where you got it memorized. Guys, as we renew our mind, as we renew the way that we think, as we change, we're getting better. And see, guess what? We're getting better. And guess what? You're going to get better at presenting. You're going to get better at prospecting. You're going to get better in every aspect. So having said that, let's move forward, because we're going to talk about how to talk to people. Now, you got this list, right? You got this list of names. And I told you what we're about to do is the secret to your success is most new associates got the wrong idea of what their responsibility is. So listen to me. Your job is not to recruit anyone. I know what you're saying. What you talking about, Willis? See, Tequila, Miss Gary, what people think is, okay, I got to recruit people. No, we are in the recruiting business, but your job's not to recruit anyone. Huh? I'm confused. Don't be. I'm going to say it again. Your job's not to recruit anyone. Belinda, what is your job then? Simply to sift and sort. Ooh, that's so good. See, guys, your job is to sift and sort. You got this group of 200 names. And we're going to get you equipped on what to say. But what happens is your job is to sift and sort, to separate interested people from non-interested people. See, guys, if as you go down your list and we get people, now if you ain't talked to them in a while, you need to catch up first, because it's rude just to call somebody. If somebody said, hey, I need to borrow some money, they ain't talked to you in months, but the first thing out their mouth is to borrow some money, you'll be a little bit offended and you wouldn't give them the money. It's not that people are not interested. Sometimes we got to use common sense along with, you know, we got to put them together. So I'm telling you, there's a whole bunch of people in your list because we jogged your memory. We started asking about people from childhood. So there's some people you got to catch up with. There's some wrong numbers you got, but you need to call them to see how they're doing first. Now, you're not spending a long time on the phone with them as much as you're catching up. Now, having said that, what you want to do is sift and sort. We're going to go through, once we start contacting these individuals, we're going to equip you tonight. Once we start contacting these individuals, what we're doing is separate them in 2 piles, interested and non-interested. Let me give you an example. I'm going to kind of go down the list. So this is my list that's on right now. So I go down and I call Adele. I say, Adele, let me ask you, I talked to her. I said, Adele, how's everything going? I'm working on a project. I'm so excited. Got a chance to help a lot of people. We're going to make a lot of money. Adele, if it was possible, you make an extra $1,000 a month working from home, would you want to know about it? She says, well, shut up, right now I got a lot going on, so it sounds good, but right now it just wouldn't be a good time. I said, Adele, thank you so much. So guess what? I put Adele in the not interested category at this time. I might follow up with her later. Then I call Alice. Alice, hey, how's everything going? Oh, everything's great, man. How's your family doing? Oh, everything's great. Alice, listen, I'm working on a major project. You know what? I'm working on a major project. I couldn't think about putting a project together without you being a part of it. Alice, listen, if it was possible to make an extra $1,000 a month working from home and travel, is that something you want to know about? Oh, absolutely. Alice, great. Well, look, what's your email address? I'm going to send you some information. Great. And guess what? Alice goes in the interested pile. I call Angela. Ask her the same thing. Angela says, well, that sounds like something. She goes in the interested pile. I call Aries. Aries says, right now, it's got a lot going on. She goes in the not interested pile. I don't spend any time trying to take people who are not interested and making them interested. I spend all my time with the interested people, make sure they have the tools, invite them to the presentation. Guys, that's the job. So when you understand, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, but you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. See, when people are interested, you don't have to spend your time trying to convince people. Your job is to go through the list as soon as possible, separating the interested people from the non-interested people. And it takes away the fear of you thinking they're rejecting you. It's not rejecting you. That's not your job. Is simply to find interested people. And if you find interested people, your closing ratio goes up. What the challenge has been is you've been trying to take people who are not interested and convince them to be interested. How do I know? Because y'all asked me, Shedrick, I got somebody I want you to talk to. Okay, what they like best? Well, they didn't, but they tell me they're not really interested. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're 4. But I figured they talk to you. No. That's why you've been challenged, because you've been trying to convince people. That's not the business. We're not in the convincing business. We're in the sifting and sorting business. And I only, Venetia, focus on interested people. I don't focus my time on uninterested people. Now, you determine if you're interested, but it's my job to put the information in front of you. So when I say you're a success coach, guys, I told you your job is to sift and sort, begin to properly expose people on your list. It's like flipping through a deck of cards. Guys, if you go through the deck of cards, you know there are 4 aces in that deck. But while you're learning, you're earning. See, guys, everybody's not going to say yes. Some people are going to say, well, you know, they're going to tell you I'm interested, but they're going to say, well, look, you're going to book a meeting from a meeting. We're going to talk about that later. But what happens is, guys, you're going to have to go through the numbers, and you're going to hold yourself accountable. That's why you got to get organized. Because I already know what happens is you start calling so many people, and this one said, well, I'm interested, but I'm busy. If you're not keeping track and putting them in play and knowing who's in your pipeline, then it's very easy for you to get you all over the place. It's easy. If you don't know which days you're scheduled to work, then when you're talking to the prospect, they may say, well, hey, let's meet tomorrow. And if you don't look on your calendar and know that you got church on that day, then you'll schedule something on church. And now what happens, you schedule an appointment, and you say, well, I'll just miss church today. But guess what? Then you miss church, and then they cancel the appointment. No. Wherever you are, be there. See, you set it around your schedule. You don't set them. What I need you to understand is, guys, this thing is, I'm trying to paint the picture so you understand the total picture. Not just the fragmented, okay, let me go talk to people. That's why so many people are excited. I got 200 names. All right, I'm calling people. I said, I didn't tell you to call nobody. Let me get you equipped first so you can call everybody. I want you to call everybody, but I need you to have some information. I need you to be clear and know what you're doing. So when you're going through the deck of cards, you don't have to stop. You're good. But guys, as you go through your list, stop taking it personal. Understand this. Some will, some won't. So what? Keep it moving. You got to learn the acronym KIM, because you're going to teach your people. KIM. Man, should you just tell Kim? What's Kim mean? Keep it moving. They don't get caught up in traffic. Don't get caught up in stuff that don't really make. Guys, Kim, keep it moving. Why? Because either they're interested or they're not. Why should you spend all your time trying to get concerned? Why? Because they're not interested in saving on their travel. Why should you get in a pickle? In my words of my friend Walter Powell, why should you get in a pickle? Because they don't want to reduce their taxes. Why should it bother you? Because they don't want to. I know sometimes you're thinking, oh man, they don't see it. No, either I got to get better at my skill, or I'm talking to the wrong person. I'm not going to convince you. Either you want it or you don't. I'm looking for aces. Guys, just like you're all aces. You say yes. So why should you try to convince somebody? Some see it, some don't. See, it's not our job. Shoshone, it's not our job. It's not our job to try to convince anybody. We're just looking for the aces. When we understand that, we win. Now, let me explain this, because we're going to talk about 3-way phone calls. And then we're going to get into this. Sharon, here's what happens. You're at the top, and you have this list of prospects. You got this long list of prospects, 200 names. Some of you got 100, but you got this list of prospects. Now, your prospects in this business, a lot of times they love you, and Shanqua, they trust you, but they don't necessarily respect you as a travel professional. Sarita, they love you. They trust you. I mean, they know you wouldn't do anything to hurt them. But now listen, between you and your upline expert, they don't have respect for you, but your job is to edify your leader, to edify your senior business partner, edify your sideline partner. See, they don't even have to know them. It's just the fact that you're saying, I'm working with a group of people. I'm working on a project, and I'm working with a group of people who are having a lot of success. See, if you edify them, Ronald, then what happens is, by your edification, now you create credibility for your upline expert. That's what's needed. See, it's a partnership. And what I need you to understand is you're strong in the credibility, but you're weak in the knowledge of the business. I'm strong in the knowledge of the business. Jackie Pippin's strong in the knowledge of the business. Shanaz is strong in the knowledge of the business. You're internationals. We're strong in the knowledge of the business. Teresa, I can go on and on, but we don't have the credibility. You got the credibility. But what your job is to pique, is to pique the interest, to pique the interest, to show the plan. But guess what? Get yourself out the way by building somebody else, giving somebody else credibility. What happens in the beginning is 5% you, 95% your senior business partner. But you're learning. They're on the phone asking questions. They say, is this a pyramid? You say, and I'm saying, I'm glad you asked that. But you're listening, taking notes, because ultimately you're going to become the expert. Guys, that's what you got to understand. This is a learning process. You should be excited about learning. You should be excited about doing three-way phone calls because this is where you learn the business. So what happens, then it becomes 15% you, 85% us. See, each time you're learning, you say, oh, I heard that before. Oh, I see, now you know how to answer these questions. But if nobody showed you, where'd you learn this at? How can you teach somebody what you don't know? I read a passage that said, if the blind lead the blind, they end up in the ditch. It said, if the poor lead the poor, it didn't say that. But if the poor lead the poor, then questions, they end up in poverty. You can't teach somebody what you don't know. So what happens, Monica, is what we got to understand is you got to look forward to, guess what? Okay, so Shelly, let me get this right. So I made my list, great. I graded my list, great. So now what happens is, now we're about to get ready to start contacting our list, but the people I had talked to in months, you still telling me I need to just kind of reach out to them and just kind of catch up? Absolutely. Use the format to just see, hey, so how's your family doing? So are you still working at Lockheed Martin? Really? So last time we talked, you used to, what do you do? You've been to the movie lately. I mean, whatever. So what's God got you working on? What you excited about the new year? You form them. And guess what? By you just talking for 4 to 5 minutes to them, man, they's like, man, that was a great talk to you. Hey, well, let's get in touch. Hey, I'm going to give you a call next week. Great. Now when you get ready to call next week, you can talk to them about the business because you ain't talked to them in 6 months. The last thing you want to do is just call them out the blue and, hey, have you heard about this business? They're going to be polite, but the reality, that's why you ain't getting a phone call back. Most of y'all saying, that's it. It's just one thing. I make this one adjustment and I show people I'm interested versus being interesting. What does that mean? Be interested in people. Find out how they're doing to be interested. You ain't got to go into their soap opera. You ain't got to go into their life. But guess what, guys? People don't care what you know until they first know that you care. And so if you take time to show that you genuinely care, then it becomes very easy. So now when you say, hey, listen, I'm working on a project. I want to send you some information. I want you to do me a favor and take a look at it. They say, sure. They say, absolutely. They make time because you took time to make the first step and just see how they're doing. Now we're about to go through the long list of names. And guess what? You're going to take this list of people who are interested and separate the ones who are not interested. Now, let me say this. You're going to have some people not interested. You're going to say, well, hey, listen, I thought this would be for you, but listen, next time you're booking travel, would you consider my site? See, they may not be interested today, but they may be interested tomorrow. So don't get discouraged because they were interested, but you focusing your time on the interested people. At the end of the day, you got to put 20 people in and you got to have 3 people who become national. So it's not about your keep it moving. It's not about your ego. It's not about, oh my goodness, they told me no. You could care less. You got too many people to call. That's what I mean. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick. I got to go. I ain't got time to babysit one person. I got a whole another 100 people to call. So why am I sitting there concerned about one person? But if you didn't make a list, that's why I challenge you to make a list of over 100 people. Because when you do 10 and 15, you care about what that person thinks. But when you got 100 names, you're like, I got somebody else to call. You ain't got time to get caught up in traffic. So now you're doing 3 ways. You got this list of names and you're piquing the interest. You're saying, hey, if I'm working on the project, and they say, okay, yeah, I'll be interested. You send them to the conference call. You send them a video. It's not one thing. Guys, you're going to get equipped with all the tools yourself, and that's going to be your homework assignment over the weekend is become familiar with every tool because you're going to know what tool to put what person on. So guess what? Now you understand this, but now you're doing 3-way phone calls. And let's talk about that for a second real quick. Again, pardon me that this the slides. Here's what I want you to understand. Validation. What's the purpose of the 3-way phone call? The 3-way phone call is the most powerful tool out there because what it does is you're able to leverage your leadership for social proof. Now, a lot of times people say, well, how's it working for you? Or how much money have you made? And you say, oh, and you kind of feel like, I know it's good. I know it'd be great. But you hoping that they see it and they ask you some genuine questions. They say, well, how's it going for you? How have you done? Have you taken any of those trips? But listen to me. They need social proof. So it's 3 things a prospect needs to know. The first one is, does it work? That's really what, does it work? So you may not have made $1,000 a month yet. You may not have taken a trip, but I have. Or somebody your international has. So we show that it works because we can speak from experience. Number 2, they want to know, can I do it? And that's why sometimes they're thinking, yeah, but I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I have time. So what happens is when we do 3 phone calls, we're showing them you can do it. The third thing is, who's going to help me? That's what they want to know. Now, since you're doing a 3-way with your upline leadership, guess what it's showing? They're going to help me. If we ask those 3 questions, people tend to, guess what, move forward. So, guys, what you got to understand the power of the 3-way phone call. It's not important in sports who scores. What I'm saying is I'm a basketball fan. And what this picture shows is the individual who sets up the play or throws the assist is just as valuable as the one who scores the point. Sometimes you got to set it up. It's not so much you closed them. Sometimes you got them all the way. You just put the ball right up the rim, and we just said, what we got to do to get you started. See, some of these people are your good friends, and you feel like a bill collector. Well, you said you was going to get started. Now you're on an argument. Now they avoid you. But guess what? I can ask them. So listen, what would it take you to get you started tonight? On a scale of 1 to 10, what number? And that's not just me. I'm saying your upline leadership. I'm just getting you equipped and prepared, guys. So let's move forward. Let me make sure you understand how to do a three-way. I'm going to keep it simple. There are 4 things you need to know. You want to leverage the time and talent of your leadership. So you want to edify your leadership, build them up. What that means is to talk about what they've accomplished in the business, how successful they're in the business. Hey, I'm working with a group. I'm working with an individual, Gwen Nobleman. I'm telling you, this young lady is absolutely phenomenal. You know, she's having great success in the company. She's helping lots of people, and she's working with me. Guess what? You may say, I just make Gwen. I can edify anybody with these 4 things. Number 1, they know 100% of the facts. They know 100% of the facts. Number 2, they love to help people. Number 3, they love to have fun. And number 4, they know how to make the money. So again, they know 100% of the facts. Number 2, they love to help people. They love to have fun, and they know how to make the money. Why is this important? Because when you need to edify before your person gets on the phone. So if I was talking to Alice Williams, and I was telling her about my good friend Belinda, I'll say, Alice, you know, I'm so excited working on a major project, but what I really love is the mentorship and the leadership. You know, I happen to have a chance to work with a young lady named Adele, and Adele Grant, man, she's just amazing. You know, what I love is she knows 100% of the facts. You know, she loves to help people. In fact, she's personally helping me, and she loves to have fun. She's always traveling. She loves to have fun, but more importantly, she knows how to make the money. You know what? I can't promise she's real busy. She's worked with hundreds of people, but the reality is if I get her on the phone, I can't promise you, but if I get her on the phone, can you make yourself available for about 5 minutes? Sure. Now, guess what? I'm texting her and say, hey, can you do a 3-way phone call with me? So when I get on the phone with Adele, I don't have to go through this long soliloquy. I did it before she got on the phone. That's what I'm saying. You should do that before they get on the phone. So what happens is each you got to know how to edify. That's something you have to know how to do. You need to write that down. You need to practice it, but it's real simple. You can say, Ms. Gorman, listen, I'm working with an individual, Charles Anderson. I'm telling you, this gentleman is sharp. I mean, he knows 100% of the facts. He knows he loves having fun. He definitely also loves helping people. I mean, I just love this guy, loves helping people. More importantly, he's making a lot of money. He knows how to make the money. See, guys, if I edify, I give her a reason to listen to. And all of us had to learn how to edify. You don't have to do it, but you got to know how to do those 4 steps. And I gave you examples because that's what you got to learn. See, that's what you got to know how to do, edify the person. Now, having said that, when we get good at those things, it's going to be great. Now, let's quickly move on. I'm wrapping up. Massive exposure is the key to having success. You got to expose a lot of people in a short period of time. We're going to collapse time frames. Now, what that means is simply this. That simply means that, guys, we got this list of names. That's where y'all have to do over 100. And it's going to be how fast can we get through the list. Now, listen to me. We're going to focus on that core group first. Before we start the masses, we're going to focus on that core group first. We're going to focus on getting those key leaders in place first. That's our goal. That's that we're launching. We're not starting. We're not amateurs. We're professionals. So we're looking for that core group first, because when you got a group of people building with you and they're doing the same thing you're doing, you can see how your number's going to explode. So having said that, let's quickly, you write this down. I can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat me. I'm going to say that again. You can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. What does that mean? It's a numbers business. And when you understand that, that's why I'm so confident each of you are going to hit international executive minimum, because it's strictly numbers. It has nothing to do with skill. What you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. If you talk to enough people, you will get the results. I know that. So you can't beat the numbers. That's what that means. If you work the numbers going to work for you. So when you talk to people, let me help you. This is going to be the fun part, guys. We're wrapping up, but this is going to be the fun part. I'm going to go through this pretty slow, but I need you to understand this. When you talk to people, you got to understand a lot of times you're talking to people about travel. You're talking to people about trips, and that's why you're not getting the results. You got to talk to people and hit their hot buttons. What's hot buttons? It's the thing it's the motivating. It's the thing that gets people to move. I'm going to say this. A lot of times you're talking to people and they say it sounds good, but they say, give me about a month. That's because you haven't tapped into their emotions. If you want to get a person in motion, you got to tap into their emotions. So don't always sell people on money, but talk to them about what having the money will allow them to do or afford them to do. For those who had a chance to listen to the IMV today, we talked about the crusade. See, people want to own their own business. I ain't saying everybody, but people want to, how would it feel, man, haven't you dreamed about owning your own business? You want to talk to people about being financially free and personally free, having the options to do things. That's motivating. You want to talk about doing what's right and doing what's special and meaningful, being that go-to person. If you talk to a guy and you're a male, you want to say, man, I want to be the hero for my, you know, they're going to say, man, me too. See, it's in everybody. That's what money. See, they look up people, kids look up to people who got money. So you want to be your children's hero. There's nothing wrong with saying that, but that's what's going to make people get into emotions. Talk to things about what the money will allow them to do. You got to hit people's hot buttons. You want to talk to them about the crusade. You know, you want to talk to them about unemployment and discrimination and ignorance and power. See, the crusade is live and well. Everybody wants to be financially independent. You want to talk about long-term success, you know, being that person that people can be proud of. You know, I always tell people when I get married, I want my wife to look over and say, man, I married a stud. I want to say, man, what in the world did I do? See, every guy want to beat their chest and be the king of their household. But that's what you got to talk to people about. You think it's about the trip. No. The trip is the byproduct. Talk to people about what working hard and paying the price, what it's going to allow them to do. Erica, that's what makes people move. It's about being able to be there for your children or pay for their children's college tuition, or when they ask for something, you can tell them the truth and not tell them they don't need those shoes, but tell them you can't afford them. See, nobody wants to be in that situation anymore. So, guys, I'm wrapping up. I just love this, but guys, turn people to your referral source. It's not if no one it's not a good time for them. It don't mean that they're not a good person. It just means you're separating the list. So, if now's not a good time, guess what? Ask them $1 million question. Well, who do you know? What I'm saying is you're going to come across some people that right now is not a good time. It sounds good, but right now it's not a good time. Awesome. You know, I really thought that this would be something for you, Phoebe, but let me ask you a question. Who do you know? Now, you know, be professional, persistent. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over this real quick, but I'm going to just hit on it. I'm not going to really go into detail for time's sake. I need to be finished up. I still got to go eat. So, having said that, guys, if you give me 5 minutes, I'm going to quickly go through this. This is the best part, but I'm just going to set it up. I'm going to tell you what homework you got to do. And then what we will do is come back on Monday, but we'll be getting ready to call people on Monday. So I'll really go over this on Monday, but there are 4 ways to really prospect through your warm market, and your hot market. I didn't say cold market. I say your warm market. These are people that you have a relationship with. These are people that you know. These are people that you have met at some point in your life. These are not strangers. This is not a cold market. These are warming. Now, there's 4 ways you prospect. Number 1, friendship. Number 2, curiosity. Number 3, need. And number 4, additional income. That's how you prospect through your list. It's those 4 things. So here's the point. Friendship. I'm going to go through this quick. Example. If this is a friend, you can ask them, listen, hey, Erica, I need a favor. She says, what's up? I just got involved with a major project, and I'm so excited. I respect you and your husband so much. Would you do me a favor and come take a look at it and tell me if you see the same income potential I see? So I'm asking for a favor from a friend. That's how I'm going to approach a friend. Yeah, Eric, I'm going to ask them, say, listen, I need a favor. What's up? I'm working on a major project with some key people who are having a lot of success, and I need your help. I need your help. I need a favor. You're my friend. I need a favor. I need you to take a look at it. That's how you talk to your friends. Number 2, I'm not going over that right now, additional income. This is where, again, I'll ask him, I say, well, Doug, let me ask you a question. He said, what's up? If the right thing came along, you felt it was the right thing for you that it can help you increase your income, would you want to know more about that? He's either going to say yes or no. But guess what? He's going to say, of course, what's it doing? Listen. Then I'm going to invite him on a conference call. Then I'm going to say, hey, I want to send you some information. My job is to pique his interest. That's additional income. Curiosity. So, again, if you knew how you can make extra $1,000 a month working from home, is that something you'd be interested in? If he says yes, guess what? I just piqued his curiosity. Now I can lead him to show the plan. If you can't show the plan, if you can't pique the interest, then you can't show him the plan. If you don't show the plan, then you can't get him to purchase. Guys, it's all about being disciplined to say the same things over and over. Having said that, the last one is needs. Probably my favorite one. Because when these are people that you know and you know their need, Don, it's very easy to say, hey, Don, you told me that you was putting your son, you want to put your son in a private school. You know, is that still something you want to work on? And she says, yes. Well, have you found a way to do that? Or, well, we still looking. Well, let me ask you a question. If I knew a legitimate way that you can earn extra money so you can send your son to school, would you be interested in knowing more about that? She has to say yes. See, guys, what I'm saying is these are the people that you know. And the way that you prospect through your list, and I don't want you to I want you to get comfortable. So you're going to prospect through friendship, additional income, curiosity, and need. So that's the way. So guys, what we're going to do is cut off right now. Like I said, this was a bonus session. Uh-oh, my screen disappeared. Come back. Okay. This is a bonus session, but guys, I want to appreciate your time. If you have any questions, let me see. Let me pause it. Let me just see any questions. This concludes. If you got to go, by all means, should we get it together? Okay, I'm just looking to see the questions that people may have. Real quick, if you have a question, raise your hand. Ms. Johnson, you'll go off. We'll have you go offline and ask that. That's about your personal travel party. Ms. Scott. All right, guys. Well, no questions. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that this really